Okay, guys. So, lastly, I want you to learn about format mode and resolution when we are exporting our documents from Adobe. So, I want you to think about this kind of like, um, if we send a Word doc to someone who doesn't have Word, then they can't open it. So, what do we do to combat that issue? Normally, we would save it as a PDF, right? Or something along those lines. If you send, oh, like some of y'all try to send me those HEIC files from your phone, which are actually like the live pictures. That's the format of your file when it comes out of your phone. It's HEIC, when really I need you to send me a JPEG because Blackboard doesn't recognize HEIC, it only recognizes JPEGs. So with Adobe, we also have to be careful about the type of file we send out, as well as how detailed it is, and the type of color that it uses. Let me explain that a little more. So before we export from Adobe programs, it's important to think through how the material will be used. So you're going to always have your Adobe file um, that you work in and you edit and you draw in. But then when you go to send it to a printer or to put it online, we're going to export your design as a different type of file. So first thing we need to think through is, are we going to use it for a print product? So is it going to be a banner? Is it going to be in a printed out magazine? Is it going to be a flyer? Anything like that. Or is it going to be digital? So is it going to be on social media? Are you putting it on your website? Are you sending it through an email? Those are going to be two very different scenarios for how you're going to actually export your file. So you have to think about the format, so the type of file that it's actually going to be. So it might be a PDF, it might be a JPEG, it might be a PNG, which we're going to go over all these in just a second. You also have to think through the color mode that it needs to be in. And we'll talk about the scenarios that you're going to use those in, but I just want you to know really quickly, RGB, that's red, green, and blue. CMYK is cyan, magenta, yellow, and then K actually stands for black. Okay. Just know that CMYK gives you, well, since there's one more color into that mix there, you actually have a broader range of colors um, to show up, I guess is what I'm trying to say, but then RGB. And then resolution. So, how many pixels per inch, okay, are going to be in that um, graphic. Oops. Okay, so if you're printing, more than likely you're going to export it as a PDF, but there are a few other options that you can do. So you've already watched the video that explains vectors versus raster images. If you haven't, you need to stop this video and go watch that first. Okay. Everyone who hasn't watched it yet is gone, right? Okay, perfect. So an EPS is going to be a vector image, and it's really for high resolution illustration. So like if you are going to export some sort of banner that you made and it's going to be 6 feet long or something, then that is the one that you need to use. Hold on just a second, guys. Sorry about that. We are actually, we're moving to Springfield, so we're in the process of looking at homes and everything. So, so sorry that I got a call in the middle of my lecture here, but okay. So EPS again is going to be for this high resolution illustration. So like if you get that really big banner or something of the sort, it's just the best file type for that. A TIFF is going to be for large detailed image files. And again, that's going to be a raster because it is an image. So like if you take a picture of your parents for their anniversary and you need it to be blown up to a, I don't know, a 2 foot by 3 foot picture that you're going to display at their anniversary party, then you probably need to export that as a TIFF. If you are a professional photographer in general and you are going to have your image blown up really big somewhere, maybe a dentist office bought one of your images or something, then you need to export that as a TIFF. And then if you have any sort of illustration that you make that has a transparent background, then you need to use a PNG. So anytime we export an image from Adobe, it automatically assumes that your image is a square. So let me give you an example. So let's say on my index card here that I have drawn an image that, let's see, I'll just make it simple. I'll make a circle. And it says like Kelsey's company in the circle, okay? So if I have made this in InDesign, it is actually going to export just like this. But all I really want is the part right here, right? I just want that logo. I don't want the white space that goes around it. I hope that makes sense to y'all. So when it really doesn't become an issue if you're going to put this logo on a white background. But what does get to be a problem is if you want, let's see, if I wanted to put it on a red piece of paper, okay, or a red t-shirt. I want it to show up like this. Okay, then you need it to be a PNG, or especially if you have a logo where you want just the black part to show up when you put it on a red piece of paper. Okay, you want the rest of it to be transparent. You only want the black text and the black circle to actually export. Does that make sense? If y'all have questions, please reach out to me and I'll explain it better. But if you want it to be transparent in any way, you need to make it a PNG file, a PNG, if you will. Okay, so those are all of the print files that I want you to use. And then the mode for that, your color mode, we're going to do CMYK. And then because we're printing, we want the highest variant of colors that it'll allow us, and then also the best resolution. So 300 DPI is typically what we see for print. That's like the minimum resolution that we can use for high quality print, okay? And don't worry, when we actually go to export files in Illustrator and InDesign, we'll go over this again, but I just wanted to introduce this concept to you. With web and digital, if you're going to do some sort of online illustration, so a vector image, a logo, anything like that, it's probably going to need to be a GIF file. If you have an image that needs to go online, so, you know, a picture of something, a picture of mountains, a picture of dog, a picture of your car, anything like that, it needs to be a JPEG. And then again, if we have anything with that transparent background, then it needs to be a PNG file. So PNG on either print or web, anytime you have something that needs to be transparent in the background. For web though, we just need RGB. That's going to make our file size smaller. And for the internet, we don't need that that wide variety of colors. It'll show up just as well with just using RGB. And then we only need a resolution for web somewhere between 72 and 96 DPI instead of that 300 that we need for print. If you want to, go ahead and take a second and you can write down this chart. It'll be really beneficial for you to have this in the future. If I'm nice, I might add this to the learning module. We'll see what I decide. Maybe I won't put it up this week. Maybe I'll put it up later. But go ahead and write it down so that you remember it and you have a copy. All right, and then that is going to actually be the end of our slideshow for today, the end of our lecture. If y'all have any questions, let me know. Make sure that you download Creative Cloud, subscribe to that. What else? Do your mind map by Sunday. Please don't let me lose my mind every week with all of y'all waiting until the last minute to do your assignments. That also isn't helpful to you because if you have a question, you can't email me, or if you have trouble uploading to Blackboard, sometimes I check my email late at night, but sometimes I don't. It really just depends on what's going on, right? Just like you. So I think that's all you need to do though for the week. Let me know if you have any questions and have a great week. See you next time. Bye.